Hello pattern lovers, you're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video we'll be drafting this simple fit and flare dress. It's a 6 pieces gown. It's an armhole princess that, and if you're interested in learning how to go about the pattern drafting of this dress for a good fit, then kindly watch this video to the end and let's get straight to it. Starting with the front pattern, I already have a shoulder line, and from that line I'll be going down first to the bust point line, then to the waistline, to the hip line, and then you're making sure that the length of the paper is up to your gown length. And I'm going to mark them out this way and label them: shoulder line, bust point line, waistline, hip line, and then the gown length. Now I'll go back to the shoulder line and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll be going down to the chest line, and on that point again I will be marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2, just so I can have a straight line. And once I have the chest line and then the shoulder measurement, I'm going to use my ruler to mark it out this way. The next thing I will do is to get the neck width, and I'll be using 3 inches for now. Then I'll be coming down here to 1.5 for the shoulder slope, and then I'll go ahead and use my ruler to slant it from the shoulder to the neck width this way. Next, I'm going to get the midpoint of this line, and once I have it, I'll be going in there to 1/2 inch, then come to the chest line and mark the bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'm going to use all this point as a guide to get the armhole curve this way. Next, I'm going to mark the bust span on the bust point line and also on the gown length. Then I'm going to use my ruler to just mark a straight line, and yeah, this will be the bust span. Then coming to the waistline, on both sides of this line I'll be marking 0.75 for my dart intake, and then I'll be coming down here from the bust point line to 0.75. Then I'm going to use this ruler to just connect it from the waist dart to the 0.75 I have from the bust point down, and you see how I take it from the waist down. Now I'm going to start from the shoulder slope and come down to about 5 inches, and that is where the armhole princess curve will be going to. I'm going to place my curve as you see me do it here and give it that princess curve. Now I'm coming to the waistline. I'm going to mark the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.5 dart intake, and then coming to the hip line, the hip measurement divided by 2. You can decide to replace the dart intake we have around there, or you leave it. It's optional. Then coming to the gown length, I'm going to mark the exact thing I have on the hip line, and now I'm going to be connecting this measurement just like this. Once I'm done with that, I'll be coming down here to 2 inches because that's the difference between my front length and the back length, and I'm using that as the bust dart, and this is what it's looking like. The next thing now is to start from this shoulder tip and come in 3 inches, and that will be my neck width. So measuring from that point to the center front, I have about 4.5. Then for the neck depth, I'll be doing 2.5. You see that the neckline is quite wide and not quite deep. Do you understand? So you're going to just give it a round neckline shape. Now coming to the back, I'm going to be measuring from the shoulder to the back waist, to the hip line, and then to the gown length, which is just 2 inches shorter than what we have on the front pattern, and that 2 inches is what I used as the bust dart. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to mark them out this way, and then I'll go ahead and label them: shoulder line, waistline, hip line, and then the gown length. Now I'm going to start from this center back here. On the shoulder line, I will be marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll be going down to the chest line, and also on that point I'll be marking the shoulder measurement, just so I can have a straight line. And now I'm going to just connect it with my ruler this way. The next thing I'll be doing now is to mark 3 inches here as the neck width. Then I'll be coming down here to 1 inch shoulder slope, and then I'm going to slant the shoulder like this. Next, I'll go ahead and get the midpoint of this line because we'll be needing that later to curve the armhole. And once I have it, I'm going to just start from this shoulder tip and come in 3 inches and come down here to 2 inches, and 2 inches will be the neck depth for the back. Okay, then I'm going to give it just a round neckline shape like this. The next thing I'll be doing is to contour the center back, and I'll be coming in here to 0.75. Once I have that, I'm going to place my ruler this way and take it all the way to the shoulder line, and then take this one all the way down this way. You see how I'm connecting all of this because you're making a pieces dress and you don't want any bubble anywhere. Do you understand? That's why I'm doing the dots like this. Then I'll get the bust measurement divided by 4 from the center back contour line, the hip measurement divided by 4, and then whatever measurement I have on the hip line, I'm going to mark that also on the gown length. Then on the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4 minus half inch plus 1 inch, that's intake. And then I'm going to be covering the armhole out this way. The next thing I will do now is to get the bust span. I'll be marking it from the center back contour line, and once I have that, I'll be going up 6 inches as the dart length. Then I'm going to measure from this initial center back to that point. Whatever it is I have, I'll be marking that on the dart length and also on the hip line. Then now I'm going to be using this ruler to just mark it straight like this and take it all the way to the gown length. Now coming to the waistline, on both sides of this line, I'll be marking half inch, which is just the exact 1 inch I added to the waist measurement for the dart intake. Then I'll go ahead and mark out the dart as you see me do it. The next thing I'll be doing now is to measure what I have here from that armhole princess curve all the way to the bust width, and then I'm going to make sure I have the same thing on this back armhole curve. Okay, this is optional. You can decide to start from the shoulder and just come down to 5 inches, which is just the same thing we use for the front, but I want them to align, and that's why I had to measure the two. So once I have the curve, I'm now going to use this curve to like blend it in and also blend in this part because this is for the back. Obviously you don't want that part too curvy. Then I'll start from the center back contour line and add my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'll take it from the neckline all the way to the gown length. You can decide to just, once you get to the hip, you mark half inch on the gown length if you want, or you just take half inch all the way down. And that's pretty much about it for this particular drafting. I will be cutting this out, and to do that, I'll separate the two patterns this way, then go ahead and cut out the back pattern first before we move over to the front pattern.
I need you for my family. It's only been a few days. I set my eyes on you, babe. Is it love at first sight? Turn on the lights, see the mess you made. 1, 2, in love with you. 3, 4, I'm on the floor. Come pick me up. Oh.
And now to cut the front pattern, I will just go ahead and open up the waist dart all the way to the bust point line, then slash the bust dart, apply my water glue and place it on the bust point line just like this, and then use my straight ruler to blend in the side seam this way. And of course, I'll go ahead and cut the rest of the pattern just as you can see me do it here.
Tell me you know for sure. What you want believe if you don't believe. I'm not deceived, I'm not deceived. And my love go past the love you give me. If I follow your hand, I beg delete. What you want believe if you don't believe.
Now this is what the pattern is looking like. We'll just go ahead and move on to the next step. And for this step, you'll be needing a fresh paper, which I already have it cut out like this. What I'll be doing now is to just tape it down like this. Place the center front on this fresh paper and tape it down if you're using your cello tape or masking tape. But since I'm using my water glue, I'll just apply it here and then I'll place it on this fresh paper just as you can see me do it here. Once that is done, I'll now go ahead and start here on this down part and add 5 inches from the width of the center front here. You add 5 inches. Okay, depending on how wide you want your pieces to be. If you want it wider, go ahead and increase it. But these 5 inches that I added, once I cut the center front on fold, is going to be 10 inches in total. Okay, so the wider you want it, the more you increase the measurement, and if you want it lesser, you decrease the measurement. Do you understand? Once that is done, I'll just go ahead and cut it out, and right after cutting it out, this is what it's looking like. Okay, so we are going to be repeating the same thing on all the patterns, then doing it for this side front. We'll be doing it on both sides. So I'll go ahead and apply my water glue on both sides like this. Then I'll be needing two paper for this one. I'll first place it like this. I'll place this side here on the paper, then I'll go ahead and bring in the other paper and place it on this other side just like this. And now that I'm done with this, I'll just go ahead and level it on this hem, just make them equal with the help of my straight ruler this way. Then I will be adding my 5 inches on both sides. Okay, First, I'll just go ahead and cut it out, and after that, I'll just go ahead and blend it in from the waistline like this all the way to the 5 inches I have on the hem this way. Then I'll go ahead and come to this other side too and add my 5 inches and take it also all the way to the waistline. But since I have enough paper all the way to the armhole point, yeah, I might as well add my side seam allowance. So I'm going to extend the waistline and also the bust line, that's like the chest line. Once I'm done, I'm going to measure what I have on my pattern and make sure that these two lines that they are the same. Please go ahead and repeat the same thing so that yeah, you won't shorten your measurement or add to it. Then I'm adding 0.75 as the side seam allowance. If you want more than that, go ahead and add it, but you're going to be blending it in from that your measurement all the way to the 5 inches you have on the hem. Do you understand? You're not adding any other thing except, of course, you want it wider. Then whatever measurement you have as your side seam, you will also be adding it to the 5 inches you are using as the fullness for this pattern. Do you understand? And after cutting it out, this is what it's looking like. Now we have the side front ready and the center front. And looking at it like this, you can tell how wide this is going to turn out. So this particular part, like blending the sharp point on the hem, is totally optional. You can do it on your pattern or you do it after joining. Since this dress doesn't have lining, you after joining them, you go ahead and trim it off, but you must have to trim it off or like blend it in so that it will give you that round shape that you're supposed to have on the hem of your dress. Okay, so if you're doing it on the paper, just hold them together this way, then use your curve ruler to blend it in and cut it out. But I'd like to do that after joining the pieces, like the yeah, the fabrics. Now, because of the bust that it's likely very hard for you to use this front pattern to cut out for the back. So it's just best that you go ahead and draft also or work on the back pattern since you already drafted it out. So I went ahead to also add the 5 inches like we did on the front pattern, yeah. Then coming to the center back, I added 3 inches. You're not supposed to do that if you want to, yeah. But just so it's not like we are hitting on this center back pattern, I just added 3 inches here. Yeah, the green line is the zipper allowance point. Then I added 3 inches from that point. If you don't want, just leave it like that. Then you see how I blended it in. I came down about 2 inches from the waistline before connecting it or blending it into the 3 inches I have on the down part. So you'll be cutting 2 times of the center back and you'll be cutting 2 of the side back. The center front, you're cutting that on fold. The side front, you're cutting 2 of that. Then you're going to add half-inch joining allowance where it's necessary. We already have the center back, you're not adding allowance on the center back. Then we have the side seam measurement. So you go ahead and transfer all of this to your fabric, add the necessary allowance, and happy sewing. And with that, I'll be seeing you on my next one. Bye bye.